Welcome to the All Might I Am Here training routine, where we're going to whip you into shape like All Might did Deku. Alright guys, we're going to start off lifting some weights. We've got bicep curls, triceps, reverse flies. Make sure to do really low weights with those, and I mean really low. Shoulder shrugs, wrist curls, both regular and reversed, and then a single arm standing row, which you'll see pictured in a moment. You're going to do one set of each of these at the weight that you normally lift, and then when that is no longer a challenge, I want you to go up in weight. Push yourself, and this is how you safely get big like All Might. This exercise you can do at the gym with one of those cable machines, but if you're like me and you like to work out at home, you can do what I'm doing here with rubber bands. And you can use lightweight rubber bands, but when that gets less challenging, you're going to go up to a heavier weight rubber band, and you're going to do both sides, 100 reps on each side. Now we're going to do a set of deadlifts, challenging ourselves with weight. And from there, we're going to move on to shoulder presses. So first, we're going to do a set of shoulder presses with the bar, and then a set with free weights. What I really want you to focus on is that burst of energy that pushes it up into the air, but then I want you to hold it there, not just with your arm muscles. You're going to be holding it there with your core, holding it steady and stable. And that is going to give you a good workout for a variety of muscles. Next, I want you to learn how to box. So look up Tony Jeffries on YouTube. He was an Olympic athlete, Olympic medalist in boxing, and he has some great tips on everything from how to get started to your footwork to how to keep going. I want you to really focus on your technique and holding your body correctly and being in the correct form, correct position, because this is what's going to give you that good strength all over, just like All Might has. Next, I want you to use weights to make your punches faster. So you do your normal boxing techniques with weights in your hands, low weights, like I have these 2-pound ones in my hands. Then afterwards, you're going to notice your punches are a whole lot faster when you put the weights down. And finally, we're going to finish this section off with some burpee crunches. So instead of jumping when you come back up from the burpee, you're going to do a little crunch between your elbow and your knee. You're going to make sure to work both sides. So you're going to do 3 sets on each side. That's right, 3 sets on each side, plus ultra. Let's go. We are going to pay really close attention to form. So make sure you get all the way back into that push-up position. Your back is in the right position so that you are working all the muscles well. We've all seen those tree trunk legs that All Might has. And if you want to get anything close to that, you're going to have to work those legs. So we're moving on to forward lunges. You're going to do 3 sets on each leg. Moving on to reverse lunge pulses, where you're also going to do 3 sets on each leg. Be sure to fully step back into that lunge before you start the pulse, otherwise you're not going to be working the muscles that you want to work. And finally, we're going to do 3 sets. You guessed it, why give it up now? We've done 3 sets 3 times in a row now. 3 sets of squat power jumps. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, bag drags. So, this is still in the leg section because, as you can see, you do a little squat to pull the bag in, but I just have an old backpack that I don't really care if I drag it along the floor, and I put weights in it. So for me, I've got like 24 pounds in there, I think. So it's 2 10-pound weights and 2 2-pound weights. So you just fill it with how much is a challenge for you and get to dragging. Once you've done 3 sets of those, you're good to go on to the core section. Yeah, this might be the hardest exercise to picture on video for me because I can only put this cable in this one little corner of my bedroom and do this, but it's really hard to get a camera in there. But that being said, let's focus on how you do this because it looks like I'm just bobbing up and down, which is super easy to do. But what you're doing is pulling that cable down with your core muscles. So not your arms, not any other part of your body, but your core muscles are what you are using to pull down into a crunch. And you're going to give me 2 sets of those. Next, we're going to do a variety of core exercises using just your own body weight. And before you scoff at these, you need to try them. This is just a small taste of them, but you can look up workouts online that go through like 20 or more minutes of this stuff, and then you're really going to be hurting. But the first thing that you're going to do with our little small taste in the All Might workout is you're going to have your legs as I have them positioned here, and you're going to start by dropping each leg in turn for a few seconds and then pulling it back up. Then you're going to alternate as you saw me do. You're going to stretch out alternate arms and legs, so right arm and left leg, and then left arm and right leg. And after you do that several times and hold it for a few seconds, you're going to do both arms and both legs as you see me doing here. Next, you're going to lift each leg by pointing the toe up. You should be feeling this in your lower abdominal muscles. And keep in mind throughout these workouts, I want you to keep your lower back on the floor. If you don't do this, you're going to have a lot of pain later. But anyway, after you alternate lifting both legs several times, you'll do both legs at the same time. And finally, you're going to do a little crunch. So reach for those toes. I don't expect you to hit them. You're just supposed to be working your abdominal muscles. So reach for those toes as if you're trying to grab them. Next, you're going to lean up onto your forearms with your back and core tight. I don't want you to let that back sag. And you're going to weave your legs back and forth. And then you're going to do scissor legs, and you're going to alternate that. And I want you to do at least 30 seconds of that to a minute, alternating these two types of exercises. Next, I want you to perform reclining sit-ups. So you're going to sit up, not all the way, obviously, you're slightly reclined, hence the name, reclining sit-ups. And you lift one leg, then you go back down, sit up, and lift the other leg. And I want you to do this for 30 seconds to a minute. In fact, that's what I want you to do with all of these core exercises that are using your own body weight. I want you to finish this little mini core body weight workout with L sit-ups or square sit-ups. They are called this because it either looks like an L the whole time, or you could think of it as like a square missing its other wall. And after you do that for 30 seconds to a minute, you guessed it, you're going to do L sit-ups again with a little crunch at the end. You go right, left. Next, you're going to use what you learned from all the how-to boxing videos in the arm section to do some shadow boxing. You can just put on some music and do different types of boxing moves, or you can pretend as if you are sparring with somebody. Next up is weighted carries. So not only is this cardio, and so it's really healthy for your heart, it's also good for your shoulder and arm muscles. So pick some weights, and I want you to do 10 sets there and back. So going like see me towards the camera, and then as soon as I get all the way back into my room, that counts as one lap. So pick somewhere either outside or in your house and do some weighted carries. So what you'll want to do though is as this gets easy, add another lap of there and back. Something to keep in mind, however, is how sore you are after doing this throughout your shoulders and arms, because remember, this is not just cardio, this is also working your shoulders and arms, and you don't want to strain those muscles, so be careful. And remember to always pay attention to your body. All right, guys, so it's pretty cold out here to me, but All Might would not let a little cold get in the way of doing the healthiest exercise in the world, and that is walking. It's so healthy for your heart. So you're going to make sure to do that at least twice a week for this All Might workout. And what you're going to do is take what you usually do and add half a mile to challenge yourself. So I usually do 2 miles, so I'm going to be doing 2.5 miles. So get out there and let's do it. Next, guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I want you to walk or sprint while holding things. And so you can see there that I'm using boxes, but it could be anything. You could use pillows, some of your children's toys, really anything around your house, small items around your house. And I want you to hold them in different ways, whether it be on your shoulder, or positioned in different ways in your arms, just so that you're working different muscles in your upper body as you get a good cardio workout. We are going to finish this one off with some good old-fashioned running. So Whatever you usually do, I want you to add half a mile. So if you usually run 3 miles, run 3.5 miles. If you usually run 1 mile, run 1.5 miles. But I want you to challenge yourself and give it all you've got. Just want to give a shout out to some good old-fashioned stretches. Don't forget to stretch so that your body keeps running at 100%. もう大丈夫。私が来た。You did it, guys. You are here.